welcome. My name is Leah and this is my story time. Now I hope you all had an amazing weekend and I hope that some of you might have eaten something chocolate. Maybe some chocolate eggs? How many did you eat? Oh my goodness me, that's a lot of chocolate eggs that you ate. I hope you enjoyed them. I had lots of fun with my two little boys as well, and I did eat a chocolate bunny. It was yummy! Now, because today is Monday, I thought we would tell a little story that's lots and lots of fun, and it's been suggested by a little girl called Amber. Hello Amber, I hope you're really well, and her little sister Neve. Hello Neve, thank you so much for suggesting this story. Now they really enjoyed our story that was all about a mole who had something on his head, something like this. Yes, that's right, he had some poo on his head, and they really enjoyed that story, so they asked for another story all about poo, and it's a really funny story. It's this one that Amber and her little sister Neve have suggested. It's called The Dinosaur That Pooped a Planet. Oh, I think there's going to be a lot of poo in this story, and it's written by Tom Fletcher and Dougie Pointer, and the illustrations are by Gary Parsons, so I can't wait to read this. Shall we read it together? Oh, there's going to be so much poo in it, so here we go. Don't worry, when I get to the end of the page I will show you the pictures as always. Here we go. The Dinosaur That Pooped a Planet by Tom Fletcher and Dougie Pointer, with illustrations by Gary Parsons. Danny and Dinosaur liked to have fun. Some days they had lots, some days they had none. And there is Danny and the dinosaur. I think they're playing in the garden. Did any of you go to the garden this weekend? Yeah, very luckily we did. One day they were bored. They had no games to play. Danny said, "Dinosaur, what shall we do today? We could mow the lawn, we could tidy the place, we could do our chores, or we could go to space." Oh, there's Danny and Dinosaur, and they've made a bit of a mess, but they thought they might like to go to space. Oh, that's a good idea if you're feeling a bit bored, isn't it? "But you mustn't forget to have lunch," said their mummy. "You cannot have fun without food for your tummy." So they packed a packed lunch for the Science Museum, where rockets were kept if you wanted to see them. And there is Danny's mummy. Whoa, what a big lunch she's made for that dinosaur. But she's right. You can't have fun unless your tummy is nice and full. So I wonder what it's going to be like at the Science Museum. There were hundreds of rockets and spaceship surprises, tall ones and small ones of all shapes and sizes, and one that was ready to launch with a door big enough for a boy and his pet dinosaur. Can you spot the rocket that they might be going in? Oh, I think it might be this one. It's big and red and shiny. And they're having a look all around. They ignored all the warnings. They couldn't care less. They pressed all the things they shouldn't have pressed. T-5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition! They started their intergalactic space mission. Oh no! Uh-oh. There we go. Danny's pressed the button. Oh, I wonder what's going to happen next. They flew higher than houses and buildings and cranes, much higher than birds, even higher than planes. There you can see them blasting off. Whoa! And I think that bird is thinking, what are they doing in that space rocket? wonder where it's going to take them. We're in space, Danny yelled as they floated around. But Dinosaur's tum made a rumbling sound like this. Oh no, there you can see Dinosaur's tummy is rumbling and he doesn't look that happy. What does it mean if your tummy rumbles? Yeah, it means you want some food. I think Dinosaur's hungry. Is it time to have lunch? Danny looked at his watch. Then he looked all around for Dino's lunchbox. Danny started to worry, then started to panic. They'd left their packed lunches back home on their planet. Oh no, look at Danny's face. Oh, they're so far away from their packed lunches. What are they gonna do? So with no food on board, not the smallest of crumbs, a disastrous dinosaur feast had begun. It gobbled up gadgets and gizmos galore. Nothing was safe from the space dinosaur. Robots and ray guns and blinking red blinkers, eating things thought up by NASA's great thinkers. The hyperdrive gamma reactor machine was swallowed along with the space tractor beam. Look at that dinosaur munching up everything on the rocket. Oh no! If he eats too much, how will they ever get home? Oh, dinosaur, please slow down. It chewed and it chomped on the spaceship controls. The rocket was dotted with dino tooth holes. Inside it was bare. The spaceship was empty. Outside there were more things to eat. There was plenty. It broke down the door with a cool ninja chop. Out in space, dinosaurs are much harder to stop. And there you can see the dinosaur floating off into space, looking for more things to munch. Oh no, I think Danny's probably shouting, "Stop, dinosaur, please!" What's he gonna chomp out in space? It chomped on the moon like a big chunk of cheese, then shoved even more in its mouth with a squeeze. Oh, look there. It's chomping on the moon, just like it's made of cheese. It munched on the Martians from Mars and their cats. Their cats are like owls, but their cats wear cool hats. Satellites, Saturn, and 6 supernovas, shape-shifting saucers and 7 space rovers. He's chomping his way through space. Can you see that? Can you see the Martians' cats wearing their cool hats? They look really cool, don't they? Oh no. Oh, that dinosaur is causing a lot of space damage, isn't he? I wonder what's going to happen. It guzzled 5 gallons of fuel from the tank, and Danny's jaw dropped as he watched what it drank, with a crunch and a crack and a nom 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 in one dino gulp. Their rocket was gone. Look. Oh no, Dino. Oh. Now nothing was left. All Danny could see was a fat dinosaur where the rocket should be. And so they were stranded with no way back home. Just Danny and Dino in space, all alone. And there's Danny and Dino in space, all alone. How on earth are they going to get back home? Oh, it's lucky rather that they can float, isn't it? Now Danny was crying. He cried and he cried. He cried and his tears filled his spacesuit inside. Unless they were going to stay there forever, the dinosaur needed to do something clever. With a feeling of guilt deep down in its gut, its brain brewed up a plan involving its butt. It knew there was only one more thing it could do to get them back home. It needed to... What do you think it needed to do? I wonder. There's poor Danny crying. Oh, but I wonder. To get them back home, it needed to poo. It needs to do a big poo. Oh, let's see if it works. Like a poop-powered rocket, the dinosaur flew. Dan hopped on its back and watched as it pooed. It pooed out the robots and ray guns and blinkers. The things NASA's thinkers thought up were now stinkers. It pooped out the moon. It pooped out the stars. It pooped the space rovers and Martians from Mars. And there you can see it pooing everything out. Oh no! Ooh. It's pooing, but as it's pooing, can you see? It's propelling the dinosaur back to Earth. When Danny looked back, he could see a poop trail from far out in space to the dinosaur's tail. They headed for Earth and they started to orbit. It pooped on the clouds, but the clouds just absorbed it. And there, look at all that poo. Whoa! Everything is in the poo. But the clouds just absorbed it, luckily for the clouds. They flew past the buildings and streets of their town, leaving the houses all smelly and brown, and finally landed back down on the ground. Hooray! Danny cried. We are home, safe and sound. And there they are, back home with their mum and dad. They looked to the sky and the things that were pooed had formed a poop planet right next to the moon. And so Danny promised to listen to Mummy, because fun is not fun without food for your tummy. And there, I wonder, can you spot the poop planet? I think it's that brown one up there. Ugh, I don't fancy a trip to that planet, do you? It might be a bit stinky. And just when you thought all the pooping was done, a Mars cat plopped out of the dinosaur's bum. Oh no! There's a lovely little Martian cat. And I think he's even got a little bit of poo on his helmet. Oh, well, thank you so much for suggesting that story. Thank you, Amber and Neve. I really enjoyed reading it. It made me laugh a lot, and it made me use my imagination, thinking about all those things that were pooing out of the dinosaur's bottom. Thank you for that. I hope you enjoyed our little story today, all about poo, because poo is lots and lots of fun. And I hope you will come again and join me tomorrow for another story. Until then, thank you so much for joining me. Take care and be kind. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.